Well, good evening from London. Welcome to Piers Morgan Uncensored. Today, Harry and Meghan torched what little was left of their relationship with the royal family and what little was left, frankly, of their own reputations. Last week was mostly sick.
What was supposed to be a heartwarming birthday trip for little Lilibet quickly spiraled into a full-blown PR disaster for Harry and Meghan. At the center of it all, Disneyland, the place where dreams come true. But for the Sussexes, it revealed just how messy their media playbook has become. Let's break it down.
Old revelations with a new twist. As it turns out, we've apparently been wrong all along. Britain is a nasty, racist hellhole where only magnificent Meghan stood up to all this. And
June 4th, the California sun shining brightly as Harry and Meghan stroll through Disneyland with their kids, Archie and Lilibet in tow. A wholesome family outing, right? But hold on, something doesn't add up. The moment those blurry paparazzi-style shots hit the internet, the red flags were impossible to ignore. For a couple that claims to desperately want privacy, they sure have a knack for picking the most public, paparazzi-infested places in America. Disneyland, a literal camera trap, was their stage. Not a private tour, not a back entrance. No, they walked right into it, front and center, where the lenses could catch every step. And just like that, the same old pattern emerged. Use the kids for soft press, then blur their faces for that fake privacy shield. People weren't buying it. The hypocrisy was glaring, and it didn't take long for one man to call them out: Piers Morgan.
the world's biggest victims right now are the Duke and Duchess of Netflix. And don't take my word for it.
This promise of once you're married.
Piers Morgan, the self-proclaimed truth teller, didn't even need to name names. He called out the celebrities who parade their kids for the press, only to blur their faces like redacted documents. "We see you," he wrote, and boom, the internet erupted. Harry and Meghan had long been criticized for their contradictory actions. How could they claim to want privacy, yet give us these perfectly staged moments? Their entire image seemed to revolve around playing the victim, while carefully orchestrating every detail of their lives for the media. It was as if their entire existence had become one long, carefully crafted PR campaign. And now, with their latest stunt, people were finally starting to see through it.
How hard I tried, no matter how good I was, no matter what I did, they were still going to find a way.
What was intended to be a heartwarming family moment turned into a media grenade. The photos hit the front pages of every major outlet, but the tone had shifted. What was once a cute family day out was now being scrutinized from every angle. As people dug deeper, the inconsistencies started to pile up. Insiders from Disneyland itself confirmed something that seemed too obvious to ignore. This wasn't a spontaneous trip. The Sussexes' entourage was unusually visible, suspiciously visible. There were too many photographers in the right places at the right time, and the shots seemed too perfectly curated. This wasn't just a family outing. It was a media event, carefully staged for maximum impact. The same carefully curated shots, the same strategically placed angles. It was like watching a Netflix trailer unfold in real time. And as people connected the dots, it became clear. Harry and Meghan don't do anything without an agenda. Their appearances are rare, but always timed, always branded, and always designed to attract the spotlight.
The first 3 hours of this Netflix series paint a very different, far uglier picture of this country and our royal family.
And the backlash? It came fast. Even their most loyal supporters were starting to question the couple. The contradictions were too blatant to ignore. You can't sue the media for invading your privacy one day and then walk straight into a paparazzi storm the next. People weren't stupid. They were just fed up. The whole thing reeked of manipulation. It was the same old game, but this time the audience was catching on. Fans began to question whether the Sussexes were truly about privacy, or if this was just another stunt in a long line of PR tricks.
This series, and they'll believe it. They'll believe the smears about Britain and our monarchy, that we're a bunch of bigoted and hateful people. They even blamed Brexit for the racism which apparently was aimed at Meghan Markle, which is just completely absurd. But by far the most sickening part of this show for me was the constant use of...
And behind the scenes, things were heating up within the royal family. Prince William, sources say, has had enough. The constant drama, the constant blindsides, the public shaming, it's all becoming too much, and he's not the only one frustrated. Senior royals, once hesitant to escalate tensions, are now reportedly considering legal and institutional measures to sever ties with the Sussexes for good. The Disneyland stunt? It may have been the final straw. The palace's patience is running thin, and at this point, even the quiet heirs are ready to speak with action. William, in particular, is reportedly fed up with the constant manipulation and the disrespect toward the monarchy. And behind closed doors, he's said to be considering drastic measures.
About an hour-long cab ride. Never seen his grandchildren. This show is packed with a kind of spurious claims and hypocrisy that have become the Sussex signature. We learned they began making videos about their heroic journey 6 months before their Netflix deal was even announced, and right at the start of a pandemic that was killing...
But it's not just the royal family that's angry. Meghan and Harry are reportedly threatening legal action against Piers Morgan for his comments. But Morgan? He's not backing down. With a platform bigger than ever, he's calling out their contradictions, their selective transparency, and their emotional blackmail wrapped in victimhood. And the more he speaks, the more people are paying attention. Meanwhile, Meghan's podcast, Confessions of a Female Founder, quietly fades into obscurity. Despite the hype, the numbers don't lie. Low downloads, minimal engagement. It's a flop. And the public's reaction to the Disneyland stunt? It's clear. People are tired of the game. The narrative has become too obvious. When things go wrong, here come the kids. It's a pattern, and the public isn't buying it anymore.
If you excuse the massive book deals, the Silicon Valley startups, the preaching videos about well-being, the podcasts, the speeches, and the major network interviews with everyone from Oprah Winfrey to James Corden. But they've barely been seen or heard at all, have they? Well, on Thursday, they'll quietly and apologetically release their $100 million.
The cracks in Harry and Meghan's brand are starting to show. The Netflix deal, the Spotify partnership, the podcast that fizzled. They all point to one thing. The Sussexes may have overestimated their pull without the royal machine behind them. With every failed project, it feels like the same story repeats itself. Cue up a wholesome family moment, frame it just right, blur the kids' faces, and let the media do the rest. But this time, it didn't work. Major outlets like Daily Mail, TMZ, and Entertainment Tonight ran the same shots, but the tone wasn't flattering. It was skeptical, critical, and worst of all, bored. The "we just want privacy" act fell apart under the weight of their staged photos and carefully timed shots. And now, the public is questioning. What do Harry and Meghan actually stand for anymore?
Before we even get to the main event.
When the stakes are this high, doesn't it make more sense to hear our story from us?
Oh, shut up. What do you mean the stakes are this high? Who do you think you are? Other than a latte-munching imbecile.
From where the public stands, this isn't about healing or privacy anymore. It's about headlines. The question lingers in the air. If Harry and Meghan truly wanted a private life, why do they keep writing it like a TV show? Their every move now feels like a scripted performance, and the audience? Well, they're tuning out. Harry and Meghan might have thought they could outsmart the media, but this time, the public isn't falling for it. And as the spotlight fades, one thing's for sure, they'll keep trying to grab it back, one carefully staged moment at a time.